Before you luchadors get together with your friends for Thanksgiving leftovers, I want to share something that I am particularly thankful for. In tonight's main event, we are literally locking horns with Dragon People in a rare gem from 1991 of the Super Nintendo. It's called Drakkhen. It is the best, worst game ever made, and they are climbing in our ring tonight after 30 years of retirement. So tag yourselves in, and let's take on the nerdy and dirty.
Our story begins with humankind in deep shit. The sport of hunting dragons has infuriated the dragon gods, and their humanoid children, the Drakkhen, are assembling on their island to do the same to humans until the human race is no more. Humankind's only shot at redemption is to acquire the 8 magical crystals known as dragon tears held by the 8 dragon princes that govern the island, and present them to the dragon gods as a testament to humankind's worthiness. The game hasn't even started, and already we have a major plot hole. The dragon gods just basically said, your dragon hunting days are over, but if you kill our kids and take their magic crystals, we're all good? Also, the need for 8 princes to govern Drakkhen Island is a little excessive, because the fucking game only has 6 other non-playable characters. Be that as it may, some of these dragon monarchs oppose the obliteration of the human race, and your presence on their island will place you right at the center of their civil war. In getting started, you'll form a team of 4 characters, and options are limited. The team must have a fighter, a scout, a magician, and a priestess. There is no mixing it up, and your only creative influence will be on the genders of these characters. Each character has the same 6 abilities, and you'll enjoy the tabletop aspect of rolling the dice to determine their potency. Not bad for a 1991 video game, huh? Well, now you have to play, and that's where everything seems to go to shit. Drakkhen Island looks like a TomTom GPS from 2007, with hazards that are difficult to avoid. For example, the moats are occasionally patrolled by the most agile sharks I've ever seen, because if they see you crossing the bridge, they nightcrawler bamf your fucking ass. Or, if you're really unlucky, you'll enter a random encounter at the edge of a pond, where the risk of dying in shallow water is greater than the risk of the enemy killing you. During these encounters, your team will rely on artificial intelligence, and unless you open the menu to modify how they operate individually, they'll just crowd around the enemy and beat it till it dies, with the occasional dumbass who wanders around like a union worker who does his one job for the day and refuses to do anything else. Not all encounters are dangerous, though. Some of them will be visits from the wandering merchant, who comes and goes in a cloud of twilight sparkles, and his speech sounds like that of Homer Simpson trying to pontificate with a mouthful of donuts. Wait, I take that back. Some of the merchant encounters can be deadly. If you're too close to a fucking pond, your characters will assemble like lemmings before the merchant and drown while you're trying to buy them gear. Other NPCs include 3 drunken elves, a woman who fled to the perilous desert to get the fuck away from the drunken elves, and the guy in the attic who can heal or resurrect your characters as needed, but he'll also talk your ear off with nonsensical bullshit that does nothing to advance the plot if you let him. Excluding the dragon princes, that's the entire fucking population of Drakkhen Island, and not a single one of these people tells you anything helpful. Most of them just ask you to leave. You'll have to interact with the princes to move along, and if you're not paying attention, you won't know where to go next. And believe me, it is not easy to pay attention, because while you're reading text bubbles, you'll be distracted by the awkward movements you observe and the goofy but somewhat catchy music you hear, comparable to the Battletoads pause menu tune. Here, check it out. Thankfully, it's impossible to get lost because Drakkhen Island is just a giant square with only a handful of buildings scattered throughout. You'll also enjoy robbing the princes blind, walking into trees, and singing along whenever you're blessed by the incoherent murmurs of the wandering merchant. All in all, I can't resist crowning Drakkhen as a Lucha Review champion. It's the game that sparked my appreciation for all things awesomely bad, and 30 years later, I still can't resist the charm created by its simplicity, gritty visuals, and odd sounds and mechanics. Given the credit where it's due, it was among the first games to experiment with 3D technology, while the option to choose a character's gender was as innovative as games got in those times. You need to play this game no matter what, because you'll either love it for the oddity that it is, or you'll simply get a glimpse of what role-playing games look like in a bygone era, and hopefully have a better appreciation for whatever you're playing now. The sound of that bell means it is time for you to go forth and collect those 8 dragon tears to save the world. As usual, thanks for tagging in, and I will see you next week.